Good morning and welcome to the Board of Education meeting.
Good evening. It's been a long day.
Oh, I'm sorry. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Board of Education meeting. It is Wednesday, April 22nd. Are we in compliance with open meeting laws?
Yes, we are.
Please call the roll.
DeWitt. Here. Ford.
Here.
Herzog.
Here.
Hess.
Here.
Smiltney. Here. Wright.
Here.
Wyman.
Here.
Quorum.
And now we have some of our friends from Oakwood Elementary School here tonight. We have Mackenzie Seeger, Carly DeGroot, and Elijah Health, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. You can start.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That was marvelous. Great job. Okay, Carly, thank you so much. Carly, little certificate of our appreciation. Elijah, thank you very much. Certificate, and Mackenzie. Thank you very much. We really appreciate when students come and help us out like this. It means a great deal to all of us, and we hope you have a great rest of the school year. Thank you for coming in. And now we welcome their principal, Susan Martin, to give us some highlights of what is happening at Oakwood.
Good evening. I am thrilled to be here speaking about the Oakwood School family on this night where we celebrate the employees of the year, one of them from Oakwood. The outside of Oakwood right now looks quite different as the renovation project is well underway. We've adjusted, we've revamped, we're flexible, we've changed procedures, we're doing everything we can to ensure everyone is safe and that learning can continue. Inside, we continue to be a school family that is intentional, responsive, and results-oriented. Just recently, another one of our teachers, Mrs. Tara Meyer, spoke to you about her use of data in the classroom. This is true of all of the staff at Oakwood, where we are collaborative and focused on continuous improvement, growth, and achievement. The results of these efforts were evident in our school report card last year, where we moved from being a school that exceeds expectations to a school that significantly exceeds expectations. And we didn't just step into that category. We jumped by increasing our school a little over 9 points. Our literacy achievement is at 81%, mathematics at 87%, coupled by literacy growth at 93% and mathematics growth at 84%. I heard someone said, "That's Oakwood." And I would respond to you by saying, yes, that is Oakwood. It's a place where dedicated and hardworking staff put data into action, using it to diagnose instructional needs, monitor progress, and adjust strategies in real time. We're doing great work.
Thank you. And now we're going to have the Employees of the Year recognition.
So we'll come up with that.
Okay.
Brenda, if you want to read names.
Yes. If I could please ask Angie Dodd to join us. So please join me in recognizing Angie Dodge, excuse me, a speech language pathologist at Oakwood Elementary as a 2026 Elementary Teacher of the Year. Angie has a unique gift in helping our students find their voice and build confidence they need to succeed both in and out of the classroom. Her colleagues describe her as a bright light who has an incredible ability to connect with her students on a personal level, making therapy sessions feel like a highlight of their day. By keeping her work fun, engaging, and highly personalized, She empowers her students to become effective communicators and active participants in their own learning. Angie's impact reaches far beyond individual therapy sessions. She is a dedicated advocate for inclusive practices, working seamlessly with teachers and support staff to ensure that every student's communication goals are integrated into their daily school experience. Whether she is mentoring her peers, sharing her expertise on assistive technology, or simply stepping in to help in the lunchroom, Angie embodies the empathy and professionalism we strive for as a district. She is known for her tireless work ethic and her ability to remain calm and supportive even in challenging situations. As one colleague shared, Angie doesn't just provide a service, she provides a sense of belonging for every student she touches. We are honored to celebrate her commitment to excellence and the impact she has on the Oakwood community.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, if we could ask Cheryl Elliott to join us. Please join me in recognizing Cheryl Elliott, a second grade teacher at Lakeside Elementary School, as a 2026 Elementary Teacher of the Year. Cheryl is one of the most compassionate and dedicated educators in our district, known for creating a classroom environment rooted in care, belonging, and high expectations. She thoughtfully plans her instruction so that every learner is challenged and supported, believing deeply in the potential of every child who walks through her door. Cheryl doesn't just teach her students how to read and write, she knows them every day, and it means to be kind, empathetic, and a respectful person. In addition to her exceptional care for students, Cheryl is a recognized literacy expert and a trusted leader within her building. Her colleagues regularly lean on her extensive knowledge of the science of reading, and she serves as an incredible mentor for student teachers and future educators. Her influence is perhaps best summarized by the family she serves. One parent shared that Cheryl is a blessing who goes above and beyond to support families during their most difficult moments, even traveling long distances to serve students in the hospital during recovery. She is a kind and consistent presence who is often found cheering her students on at their weekend sports games or celebrating their personal milestones. Cheryl truly embodies every quality of an outstanding educator, and we are so lucky to have her compassionate, smart, and generous approach at Lakeside. Thank you. Next, if we could ask Ta Fighter to join us. Please join me in recognizing Ta Fighter, a sixth grade social studies teacher at Val Phillips Middle School, as a 2026 Secondary Teacher of the Year. Ta is an educator who brings immense heart and contagious energy to her building every single day. Her colleagues often remark that her presence alone has a way of lifting spirits and reminding everyone of the joy found in education. She creates a classroom environment where every student feels welcomed and valued, ensuring that her learners have the emotional safety they need to engage deeply with the curriculum. She is a master at making history and social studies come alive for her sixth graders, sparking a curiosity that lasts well beyond her class period. Beyond her excellence in the classroom, Ta has emerged as a vital leader in building a strong community at Val Phillips. She was instrumental in the launch of the school new house system, a massive undertaking that reflects her deep belief in fostering a sense of identity and pride for every student. Through this work, she has helped create a culture where students across different grade levels feel connected to one another and to their school. Whether she is greeting colleagues with a smile or leading school-wide initiatives with kindness, Ta makes her school community stronger just by being in it. Her dedication to both her students and her peers, combined with her relentless positivity, makes her a truly deserving recipient of this honor. And next, if we can have Nicholas Robarge. Please join me in recognizing Nicholas Robarge, Dean of Students at Val Phillips Middle School.
Uh-oh. There we go.
As a 2026 Secondary Teacher of the Year. Nick is a steadying presence who works tireless to build a school culture rooted in care, accountability, and a true sense of belonging. He has a remarkable gift for balancing firm expectations with genuine compassion. He doesn't just manage behaviors, he builds bridges, taking the time to truly listen to students so they walk away from his office feeling respected and inspired to make better choices. He approaches every interaction with a restorative lens, focusing on growth rather than just consequences. His service extends to every corner of the school community. Teachers and families trust him as a dedicated partner who always keeps the best interests of students at the center of his work. Whether he is de-escalating a difficult situation with grace or mentoring staff on behavior support practices, he models the integrity and the resilience we value in our district. Nick understands that middle school can be a time of great transition, and he provides the stability and encouragement students need to navigate those years successfully. His ability to foster trust and use solution-based problem solving has made Val Phillips a safer and more positive environment for all. We are grateful for his leadership and his unwavering commitment to the success and well-being of every student. And next, if we can have Tracy Meyer. Please join me in recognizing Tracy Meyer, a paraprofessional at Shapiro STEM Academy, as a 2026 Support Staff Employee of the Year. Tracy is an expert at supporting the whole child, deeply understanding that the student's success is rooted in social, emotional, and in behavioral growth across every part of the school day. From the moment students arrive until the final bell rings, she remains attuned to their unique strengths and challenges. As a morning greeter, she serves as a vital anchor for the building, intentionally welcoming students and helping them set goals for a safe and successful day. For many students, that brief morning interaction is exactly what they need to feel seen, regulated, and prepared for learning. Tracy's resourcefulness directly contributes to the academic progress of our students. She is intentional. Slow down. She is intentional about making learning accessible and motivating, whether she is locating high-interest reading materials or introducing interactive math games that turn a difficult concept into an engaging victory. What truly sets Tracy apart, however, is her commitment to building meaningful relationships. She takes the time to know students beyond their academic goals, learning about their families, their hobbies, and their personal milestones. This trust fosters the resilience students need to succeed, and her positive energy strengthens the entire Shapiro community. Through her mentorship and regular check-ins, she ensures that every student feels they belong. We are incredibly grateful for the compassion, initiative, and professionalism she brings to our district every day. Thank you. Next, if we could have Carrie West. Please join me in recognizing Carrie West, a paraprofessional at Roosevelt Elementary School, as a 2026 Support Staff Employee of the Year. In just 2 short years with our district, Carrie has become an indispensable part of the Roosevelt community. Through her unwavering dedication as solutions-oriented mindset, she truly puts students first in everything she does, taking the time to thoughtfully consider each student's individual needs and consistently reflecting on how the team can best support their growth. Carrie is the definition of a proactive educator. She doesn't just fulfill her duties, she seeks out ways to enhance every student's learning experience. Carrie's reliability and work ethic provide a vital sense of stability for both students and staff. She is known for going well beyond her assigned responsibilities, often collecting data and sharing detailed feedback that allows teachers to make more informed instructional decisions for interventions. Her heart for students is so deep. She is currently furthering her education to become a special education teacher, a move that speaks to her desire to expand her impact within the field of education for years to come. Carrie maintains the highest level of professionalism, choosing positivity and collaboration in every interaction. Her integrity builds deep trust among her colleagues and contributes to a healthy and supportive environment. She exemplifies dedication, service, and heart, and we are honored to have her as a compassionate advocate for our learners at Roosevelt. Thank you. And next, if we can have McKenna Levinetz. Please join me in recognizing McKenna Levinetz, a social studies teacher at Oshkosh West High School, as our 2026 First Year Teacher of the Year. Though this is her first year in the classroom, McKenna leads with the skill and confidence of a veteran educator. She maintains a high bar for her students, pushing them to master complex academic tasks, like claim and evidence writing, while ensuring they remain highly engaged and motivated. Her classroom management and instructional design are a testament to her natural talent, incredible work ethic, and deep understanding of her subject matter. McKenna has already stepped into leadership roles that usually take years to reach, serving as a lead teacher for the government and politics team and developing high-quality resources for her department. Her dedication to the Oshkosh West community extends beyond the school day, as she supports her students both in the classroom and in their extracurriculars. She has a unique ability to build rigorous academic environments that are both warm and supportive, earning that respect of both her students and her veteran colleagues. McKenna's proactive approach to her own professional growth and her willingness to go above and beyond for the West community mark the beginning of what we know will be an extraordinary career in education. We are proud to name her our First Year Teacher of the Year. And last but certainly not least, Beth Schendel. Please join me in recognizing Beth Schendel, Principal of the Oshkosh Early Learning, as our 2026 Administrator of the Year. For over 15 years, Beth has been a tireless champion and a relentless advocate for our youngest learners and their families. She leads with a clear vision, ensuring that our entire community understands the critical role that early childhood education plays in shaping lifelong success. Under her leadership, Oshkosh Early Learning has grown into a thriving, widely acknowledged program that serves a model of excellence within our district and the broader community. Beth is a servant leader who values people first, taking the time to understand the unique strengths, values, and beliefs of every staff member. She has been instrumental in bringing the knowledge of conscious discipline to our district ensuring that emotional safety and connection are at the heart of how we teach and support one another. By balancing warmth with a courageous drive for excellence, she inspires her team to strive their best every single day. She is a leader who is willing to have hard conversations and push for growth, all while maintaining a school family culture built on trust and respect. Beth is the heart and soul of her team, leading with transparency and a contagious energy that empowers those around her. Her resilience and passion for early learning have had a lasting impact, and she truly embodies the dedication required to lead with purpose.
Just so everyone knows, as audience members, if you are not satisfied with the videos you took, this is all on YouTube, so you could clip it off of the internet if you want to embarrass your family or spread the love first.
Thank you to everyone and congratulations. We are so lucky to have all of you within our district teaching our kids and changing their futures. We really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And if you'd like to stay, you're more than welcome to stay, but if you'd like to leave, now's the time. Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Davis, the land acknowledgement.
Yes, as we gather today, we'd like to acknowledge that in Oshkosh, we're on the ancestral homelands of the Ho-Chunk Nation and the Menominee Indian Tribe of Wisconsin, who lived along the western shores of Lake Winnebago, Wisconsin's largest freshwater lake, entirely within its borders. We acknowledge these indigenous sovereign communities who have stewarded this land throughout the generations and pay respects to their elders, past and present. We welcome the duty and opportunity to share stewardship of these lands.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda. Any changes you would like to see to the agenda? Okay, we will move forward. What?
You want to table 17?
I think we do that during the consent agenda.
Okay.
Well, no,
Yeah.
that would be during the individually considered.
Yeah, individually. Okay. All right. First of all, I'd like to again say congratulations to all of the award recipients tonight, and a little side story about Beth Schendel. Beth was doing my school visit with Beth in the 4K area at Carl Traeger. And it was very cute. She was going to show me one of the rooms, but then there was problems in the other room. So she said, you'll have to be on your way. And she had to take care of the issue. So she really was hands-on for a child that was really having a tough day. And that's the kind of person she is, and I got to experience. So thanks again, Beth. Okay, recognition of retirements. We have 4 retirees today. The first one is Jean Fromke, E-Academy High School coach at Oshkosh West, been with the district since 2006. Maria Gonzalez, school office assistant at Oshkosh West since 2015. Julie Ruck, program support teacher, district-wide at Lakeside, and at .8 at district, and Lakeside is .2 since 2004. And Ann Snyder, cross-categorical assistant for 4K, and since 2008. We say congratulations to all of these retirees, and Dr. Herzog.
Thank you, Mrs. Wyman. I just want to wish these 4 individuals a long, healthy, and happy retirement, and acknowledge their significant contributions to the learning and growth of our students, and to the benefit of the families in our community. So thank you to all 4 of these individuals, and wishing you all the best as you move forward.
Thank you very much. And something that's not on the agenda, but I just have to say it, it's Administrative Assistant Week, and we want to give a big shout out to Eileen, to always being here for our board meetings, and Sherry Wirtz, who is at many of the other committee meetings. So happy Administrative Assistant. We appreciate you very much. And mission moment. Our mission moment this week is about the gala that's coming up, the fundraising gala. And this event is going to be held May 1st at the Waters. And the purpose of the event is to raise funds to support K-12 visual and performing arts across the district. We've been in a rotation. The first one was for the arts, and now we're back at it the second time around. It was very, very exciting, has been all 3 years. This is year number 4. And the main reason that we're having this is to expand the student engagement, creativity, opportunities for all students, and many that are not covered by the budget. 100% of the proceeds raised that night will go back to these programs, and I call on all community members to attend and support student performing arts. The tickets are available on the district website, and you can see from the performance lineup, it's going to be a fantastic night of music. We have Steve March Torme, who is Mel Torme's son, and you can see him many times at Beckett's. You can see him at the PAC. He performs with a group called STEAM, and he really is a fantastic performer. And then we have the Visual Experience Ambient Fashion Show, which I understand is going to be more than creative. And the name on it is Lily Gilder, but Caitlin Stoley has had a huge impact in it. We have Josh Hawley, who's an alumni, who's going to be performing for us. And then, of course, our high school performers, the North Jazz Quartet, the CTMS Show Choir, and the OASD Strings. So it's going to be a great night of entertainment, fun to be had by all while supporting a great cause.
Excellent.
Okay. All right. And now we'll move to the superintendent's report.
All right, a lot of great things continue to happen across the district. So 5th graders at Oaklawn recently ended an impactful study on the science of breakable things. Throughout this unit, students deepened their reading comprehension and character analysis skills, culminating in the creative challenge of writing original alternate endings. Beyond the academic rigor, the project fostered significant empathy as students explored the complexities of mental health and its ripple effects across the community. To celebrate their growth, students designed vibrant bloom ball projects that visually showcased their narrative, writing, and thematic insights. So great job, everyone over at Oaklawn. Students and staff at eCook recently celebrated the joy of literacy, participating in the DEAR Time. DEAR is standing for Drop Everything and Read. Students brought their favorite books and paired up for a collaborative, shared reading experience. The event was a resounding success, fostering the calm, focused environment where students enjoyed just the simple pleasure of a good story. On Monday, we marked a special milestone, hosting our Youth Apprenticeship YA Banquet. The evening was dedicated to honoring the impressive growth that our YA students and essential mentorship provided by our local business partners. Highlights included a keynote address by Mr. Brian Yerke, Assistant Superintendent of Operations here at OASD, along with a moving testimonial from student speaker Felicia regarding the impact on her career exploration. Oshkosh West recently honored math teacher and legendary coach Ken Levine as their 2026 Distinguished Alumni recipient, celebrating a career that spanned 36 years at his alma mater. A lifelong Wildcat, Ken's impact stretches from the classroom to the field, where he became the winningest football coach in school history and co-founded the CATS Strength and Conditioning Program. We want to congratulate Mr. Levine on this well-deserved honor and thank him for his decades of dedication to the students of the Oshkosh West family. Last week, our annual District Jazz Jam concert brought jazz music to life thanks to over 160 talented student musicians. This impressive showcase brought together jazz bands from every middle and high school across the district for a free public performance of diverse musical styles. The evening provided a unique opportunity for students of all ages to collaborate and share their passion for jazz with a packed house of families and community members. Congratulations to everyone there. And as you can see, it's been a busy couple of weeks, so again, thanks everyone for welcoming me across the city and across the district. So that concludes the good news report for tonight.
Thank you very much. We will start District Administrator Supplemental Reports, verbal report from April 8th, board listening session.
Good evening to the board and to our community members who are present and those listening. I'll provide a recap for our April 8th school board listening session. We had community members who presented insights and advocacy pertaining to high school graduation policies and requirements that would, or requests for flexibility that would allow for students who are serving in the military or away at training and would be unable to participate in the graduation ceremony to be able to recognize them. And so we were able to provide a resolution for that, and we appreciate the family for their advocacy. Another community member provided remarks about improvements that have been noticed in the district as it pertains to the responsiveness of central office administrators and support staff in their engagement with families, particularly those who raise concerns or have needs for support. Also, remarks were shared about research that this community member conducted pertaining to neuroscience and handwriting, and there was advocacy for additional handwriting to be implemented in our schools. Additionally, there was advocacy from that same community member about awareness with disrupting the school to prison pipeline and FTE allocations for pupil services staff so that there isn't a need to travel between buildings at elementary schools. Lastly, a community member provided a question around property tax bills, including the amount of dollars or the allocated funds that go to fund students who receive vouchers, as well as advocacy for addressing or analyzing the impact of school resource officers on the district's budget, and a set of remarks around Director Miller's departure. So those are the summaries of the community members who provided feedback. Effective follow-up has occurred. I'm happy to answer any questions about that. Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Yerke, workman's compensation claims mod rate.
Good evening, board. We'll take you through our third workers' compensation rate seminar, we'll call it. Similar presentation as last time. Good news as we go through the presentation, also things we still need to improve on. If you remember from our last meeting in January, we were predicted to have a 1.43 mod rate going into 2026. We finished at a 1.31, which means we've made some improvements, and we finished better than expected. The negative there is we're still going to have an increase of $145,000 in our workers' compensation insurance. We had 4 student-related medical claims from January to April. We talk frequently about that being a pain point for us and something we're focused on improving. And I believe the data will show you we have made some gains in that area. Still plenty of work to do. And then our total incurred losses so far for 2025 are still below our expected losses. This is the same diagram I showed just for educational purposes for those watching at home and the board. So we get a state rate. Education gets a rate. If you're construction, they might have a different rate. If you're food service, you have a different rate. So our education rate times payroll times our 3-year running average gives us our mod rate. That 3-year average really is a key element of where our mod rate lands. So if you have a bad year or 2 bad years, even though you might have a great year, that average is still going to stay high with your mod rate. So there's our year-to-year measure. Obviously 2026 is going to be a little worse than 2025. 2026 is based on 23, 24, and 25. So hopefully when 25 comes off in a while here, we can continue to slowly make progress on our mod rate. And if I go too fast through this, please stop me. I know you've been through it before. Incident only is we want teachers to report everything. So you get scratched, you drop a scissors on your foot, you twist an ankle in the hallway. Even though it might not be a medical claim, we still want you to go through the process because we don't want to get caught later. We don't want to have to go through the work and sometimes the hassle and the legal involvement if it's not reported early. we know if it's reported early, our principals can work through things, we can educate, we can get medical attention early and get people back to work. So incident only is something happens, they report it, we document it, no medical, no cost at that point. Medical only is I go see the doctor and I go back to work within 3 days. That's a very important piece. If we can get people back to work within 3 days, we save 70% on our claims. And then lost time is they're out of work longer than 3 days. We pay full on those claims. So total claims reported 183 for 2025. This is our 25-26 policy year. You'll see we're at that 127 total. The average is if we were at a 1, what we would pay. The lowest would be if we had 3 straight years of 0 claims. That's where we would end up. And the controllable is the difference. What we're looking at for 26-27, you can see there. So even if we had 3 straight years of 0 claims, we'd still be looking at a $226,000 insurance rate. January to April, you can see the comparables. What you'll notice is when we talked in January, we were trending really, really, really well. We were at $114,000 of total incurred claims lost. Really 2 incidents. Long-term indemnity out of work puts us at 431. So 2 claims. Has that big of a jump and you miss 3 weeks of work, surgeries, whatever it might be, can have a tremendous impact on your mod rate. That's why we preach safety in our buildings at length. Our teachers have done a great job with the demonstrate, don't participate pieces, even though that can be an annoyance in some of our buildings for them to have to do that, but our staff have done a great job with that. But you can see two claims can have a tremendous impact on your mod rate and your costing. Again, January to April data, you'll notice some of the math doesn't add up. That's because there are still open claims in certain categories. So if a claim has not been closed by the insurance company or somebody's fighting a claim with us, they feel like they should have medical bills paid, and our broker says no. So some of those claims are still open. That's why you'll see some of the math might not add up exactly. And then for those of you that are color confused like me, this is a terrible chart to read because our broker R&R used different colors for January and April. The things I would like to highlight, combative students, which again is a topic we talk a lot about. In January, we had 20 and roughly $70,000. If you go to April, we've only had an increase of 4 for the combative students, and you can see the costing there is 46. So we still have way too many incident-only student-staff interactions. But those have not been medical related. So we've cut back and reduced the number of severity of injuries, I would say. Director Skifstead has done a great job with her staff training, especially around special education, moving staff, bringing people in to train. And I think that's really reduced the severe injuries we've seen or repeat injuries. Again, still work to do with day-to-day student contact in our buildings. But the piece there you can see in April, that is really end of January, February, and March. We had 17 feet of snow in March, and our slips and falls compared to January, much worse. So where our combative student was a high cost in January, slips and falls for the April measure were considerably worse. We had a couple during that snowstorm. That increased our rate. So questions on mod rate and where we currently sit? Barb?
Thank you. On the staff report, under section 6, the budget and financial, it shows a loss of $215,000. Can you explain what that is, please?
Yeah, that would be what our current rate is to what our rate will be next year. So we'll have an increase there.
Well, I thought the premium was going to increase by $145,000, but this is $215,000.
Where are you seeing it, Barb? Under
I'm
6?
seeing this under section 6, budget financial impact.
Okay.
It shows a loss of $215,000.
I think our loss will be on the front page would be the accurate number of 145 going into next year.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you. I noticed those two numbers didn't match,
Yeah,
so I was
the accurate number would
confused.
be the 145.
All right, thank you.
Other questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now, Mr. Yurke, you can move on to referendum update.
Yeah, lots going on. Obviously, a couple of the key communications. We held the Oakwood Elementary School groundbreaking and building tour last Friday. I appreciate all of Katie Neiman's work in organizing, getting those things set up with Jim Fox, our project manager. We have the Franklin Elementary School groundbreaking and building tour scheduled for Friday, May 8th. Shapiro STEM Academy farewell is scheduled for May 6th and May 9th. We have lots going on at our elementary school project zone, so if you've been by Franklin, Oakwood, or Traeger, you've noticed construction sites are well underway. If you walked inside any of those buildings, you would see our ceilings are pulled out. You have mechanicals and wires. From a safety standpoint, that's a question we get frequently. And our safety inspectors go through and make sure it is a safe place for kids and teachers to be. It's certainly a little louder now that you have a tin can with some of the ceiling tiles out. So teachers love being able to hear the conversations at the end of the hall, but they've been very flexible with us in working through that piece. But lots of projects going on. The main part of the presentation here tonight, and Kim, I don't know if I'm going to be able to scroll, so if you can scroll through. This will be the first showing of initial mock-ups of the new middle school and the new PAC and black box. So still in design phase, still taking feedback, but we're excited about where we are with the phase 2 referendum projects. Just a note, the referendum projects are a separate pool of money. I'm sure you guys get that question a lot. We get that question a lot. Those are referendum dollars dedicated just to the referendum. It is not intermixed with Fund 10 or Fund 27 or Fund 46. There are two separate pools of money, and we are obligated to come due on those projects based on community vote and what we said we would complete. So starting with the new middle school at the Shapiro site, if you can scroll down, please, Kim. Site plans there, you can see 18th Street would be on the bottom. You can see a small outline of the buses there, and you have Knapp Street on the right. A question that often gets asked is, when we did our transportation study, and we'll continue to have a big study done, but there was a lot of talk about, do we put buses on Knapp, do we put buses on 18th? Looking at the traffic patterns, traffic queuing with parent drop-off and all those other pieces, there's a bus cutout on 18th that allows buses to get out easier into traffic and have better exit routes for quicker delivery of other kids at other buildings. The teacher and student and parent drop-off queuing on Knapp Street, we've made some adjustments to. Dr. Hess was in our last facility and finance committee and had a good recommendation on changing some of the driveway. So we've made some internal tweaks. The parking, the entry and exits, and the queuing will all be done in a traffic study too, to make sure we have it accurately assessed. You can see where the site setup is. And as we go through a couple of the next pictures, you'll get a better idea. Kim, can you go back to that one just for 1 second? You can see the 3 parking lots. Entry for parent drop-off would come on Knapp Street on the top. That's a one-way drive all the way through to exit on the bottom or circling through. Our main priority there is kid safety, getting dropped off, making sure they have the appropriate walkways from a safety pattern piece. And then again, queuing with cars to make sure we get people in and out. We're not backing up traffic on Knapp Street or 18th. As the building sits, front of building facing 18th, the academic wing is on the far left, and that is a 3-story academic wing. Thank you, Kim, if you can scroll. Front of building off of 18th, we really looked at the history of where this location sits, and we thought Quarry Park and the history there with the quarry and what that's meant to this area of town. We tried to blend that in with the colors of the building. So we have some historical pieces to tie into it. We also know this sits in a residential neighborhood, so we wanted to have some gradual massing and not make it look like an entire giant hospital sitting in the middle of this residential site. So we have gradual massing from the front of the building to the back of the 3-level academic wing. Kim, if you can go. Same view, just closer, beautiful overhang for our kids to walk into school. This is one parent and student drop-off. Obviously, our buses will be in the front there. You can see the main offices there in the front. As you cascade to the left, you have music and band. Beautiful light, sight lines there, and then the academic wing to the left. Go ahead, Kim. Thank you. This would be the Knapp Street view, and this will probably be the busiest view, I would think, coming down Knapp Street. So we wanted to make sure what people saw was appealing to the eye. And again, with the massing, the structure of the building, that's what you would see from driving down Knapp Street. If you can continue, Kim. Same view, closer up, glass there is a standout feature. That would be the cafeteria. To the right, you have the fitness center off of the gym. Kim, you keep going. That is what you would see from the back of the building. Unique, we have Alps in this building. So we have students as young as 4th grade, so they would be right center back of the building. And that middle courtyard is a playground. So our 4th graders and 5th graders still have a play area. There'll also be a classroom out there set up with our tables, have some shaded space so Alps can go directly out, use that playground space. We tried to maximize the green space on that site. So there is green space for Phi-Ed, recess if needed. Everybody talks about dust collectors when new buildings are built. So you can see the dust collector on the back of the building is hopefully smaller and shaded in with the building and doesn't stand out. Receiving is to the left of that space. Okay, Kim. Before we transition to the auditorium, any questions on the initial renderings for the new middle school? Okay, moving on to the North High School Auditorium, our Performing Arts Center. You can see that location really off of door 7 at North High School. Kim, you can scroll down to the Smith Avenue view. A difficult, I would say, task in engineering and designing to mesh the architecture with the current North building. I'm not sure when North was built, but it's an interesting design and architecture and color structure. So I think our design team did a good job of meshing the two buildings while also making it a standout feature. So that is the front view you would see.
Excuse me, it opened in fall of 1972.
I knew you would know that. Should have asked you ahead of time. There is our night view, which I think will be pretty appealing to people parking coming in for a concert or a musical or a presentation. Our southwest, we've had some conversations, again, got some feedback from facilities and finance that the west side of that building is looking pretty boring and pretty plain. I think we heard our designers' feelings when we provided that feedback, so they're looking at some design options to make that stand out. And they brought up a really good point. On this picture, it doesn't do it justice what it will look like in person, up close. When you see the patterns in the bricks, you see the design of the different bricks and the outlines. So hopefully we'll continue to work on that. You can go to the night view. Then we'll move to the interior. The lobby was an important piece for us. When we toured Nina and Sun Prairie, they talked at length about how they use their lobbies. They hold dinners, they hold large presentations, they hold award ceremonies. Their chambers use it, their cities use it, and that's what we wanted to design as a grand lobby, to use it more than just a space for musical or an event. We want people to be able to rent that space, use that space, have that great facility, so it's multi-purpose. So we have a huge lobby with great features inside of it. Kim, you can keep going. That's from the west view. 2 entrances into the auditorium. You'll have monitors so you can see what's going on in the auditorium. They'll have ticket booth, they'll have coat storage. It'll be a premier space for not only our music department, but our district and community. There's your first view at the interior. You have the Jack and Jill boxes, or the Romeo and Juliet boxes, excuse me, up on the top right and left on each side. Seating for approximately 800. Barb, we took all those suggestions on handicap seating and making sure we have the appropriate spots
Wonderful.
in there.
Thank you.
View from the back. Again, this is the initial design. I can't say for certain the wood color is going to be exactly that, but this gives you a general feel for what it's going to look like. From the stage looking out, again, from a technology standpoint, this will be state-of-the-art for our music people, with mixing panels, both floor level, where if you have a during the school day event, to be in there, go in there, hit a switch, and be able to have a school event in that auditorium, or to have a world-class performance take place in there. I think we will be set up nicely for those things. The black box is exactly that. It is a black box with numerous uses. The schools we talk to who have this space, you might have an English class giving their speeches, and there you might have communities setting up their presentations, the multicultural event. You might have people rent that space out to do cooking lessons. So it's multi-use, being right next to our auditorium, art. It's going to be a great space for our school and community to use. More, I would say, intimate if you want to have a small performance in there, up close and personal to things. So we're pretty excited about the black box. Any questions on the initial renderings?
Look great.
I do have one question. It's been popular with the demise of Webster Stanley and the Merrill Building to provide bricks to members of the community who have an affinity for those particular buildings. Will that be done with Shapiro as well?
That's on our radar to talk about. So I think it's a reasonable request. I don't see why we couldn't do that. Obviously, we want to talk to our team and go through, for my own historical, what we've done in the past and follow process. But if we've done that in the past, I would assume we could make that happen in the future.
And one of the things we'll have to do is look at material. There's not a lot of bricks over, like when we're thinking exactly what we would preserve, it won't be the same necessarily material, but having conversations about how do you commemorate the history of that.
Thank you.
I'm going to stay for cybersecurity.
Okay, you just keep going.
One other thought, if there's anything, like past instances, if there's anything memorable that maybe we make sure we ask those people, like they donated or something, that they want their plaque back or whatever through the process, because
that has been part of our process, and I know there's been some frustration at certain buildings where we don't know. And that we can take ownership of that and making sure we get stuff out to the community so we don't have those mishaps. I think at Oakwood, we just talked to a family today. We often reach out to the principals to say, do you have anything on your property that is a memory tree, bench? And I would say with turnover, you have a new principal, you have a new operations person, we don't always know that, so finding out how to get that information from our community is going to be important so we don't misstep.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, yep, agreed. Cybersecurity, I don't have a presentation. I'm filling in for Jason Schmidt tonight. What I can tell you is we have a great team in our tech department who does a wonderful job of trying to trap us with phishing scams on a daily basis in our district. So I'm sure some people in here, I won't throw Sabrina under the bus, but likes to click on the email she's not supposed to. So we do have a great average, and I would give a shout out to Ike Cole, who is our cybersecurity guru. Ike does a phenomenal job of dialing into cybersecurity, and I will say, as a school district our size, we are a target-rich environment for people. We have numerous people going after our data on a regular basis, and the quickest way to do that is through phishing. And Ike has done a phenomenal job, and sometimes these come in at 2 in the morning, and sometimes it's 6, and you have to respond to it immediately, because the longer it sits and the longer it waits, bad things happen. So proud of our team in the tech department who rally together when we have these things take place to protect our data, whether it's through the business department, HR department, just general records that we have with 1,500 employees is an important piece. So our district's average 30-day fish rate is 1.73. They tell me that's great, I believe them. So the overall for last quarter was 517, and that's the lowest it's been since we started tracking 2 years ago. And I know Ike, tries his darndest to get us to fall for those things, and then has follow-up conversations with people when they do. So it is really a training tool for us. Completion rate is at 83% for all of our employees. I think we finished the year last year at 88%. And one thing that's come up quite a few times is with our budget reductions in tech. You know, we've reduced almost $500,000. We have made some adjustments to tech. It will not impact our integrity or our ability to keep our district safe. So we've found some efficiencies in there. We've reduced some licenses, which we've been able to do, but that will not impact the integrity or what we do from a cybersecurity standpoint. So any questions on cybersecurity?
I just wanted to say, I love the little red fish hook, because now I'm looking for that all the time. It's made it kind of a game, so.
Any questions? Okay,
Thank you very much. Mr. Kemmerer, student attendance quarterly written report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So in terms of student attendance, not a whole lot changed since my last written report back in February. But right now we're sitting at an attendance rate of about 93%, which would put us at the 4-star on our KPI. And we're right at the state average. The state average is at 93% too. And if you look back over the years, traditionally we've been right at or slightly above the state average. So this holds true in that regard as well. And if it looks like we're going to close out slightly above where we've been the past 3 years in terms of our attendance rate. If things hold for the end of the year here. When broken down by different demographics of students, again, we're right in line with the state average in most areas or slightly above. And then when looking at chronic absenteeism, so that's another measure that we frequently look at. When a student is considered chronically absent, that means they're missing 10% or more of the school year. So it looks like we're going to close out the year right around 19.5%, which is down from where we were last year at 21.1%. So we're trending in the right direction there. In terms of next steps for attendance, in May 15th, we have Winnebago County truancy meeting. So the county is actually putting the meeting on. That gives us an opportunity to hear from other local districts about what they're doing to support student attendance. We get a lot of great ideas. We share a lot of great ideas in those meetings as well. And then following that meeting, we'll hold our final Attendance Matters meeting of the year. So that's our district level attendance meeting made up of district staff and community members. Last time we met as an Attendance Matters committee was back in January, and there were some good recommendations at that time in terms of how we could utilize our community schools, which will be Menominee and Reed, and some of the structures there to better support attendance, how we could focus on school-wide climate and culture, helping student belonging. We know that leads to better attendance. Any systemic barriers that come up, whether they be something like our attendance letters, automating those. That's something we've been trying to do for the past year, and I think we're getting close to being able to make that happen, to create more time for our social workers to be able to focus on different types of interventions for individual or groups of students. And then really using our data to provide targeted supports and interventions for students who are in need. So those are some of the things we'll continue to discuss with Attendance Matters and really build action plans around.
Very much.
I'm happy we're at the state average. That's great. But that's 7% that don't go to school. Like, do you think they find education somewhere else or something? Because it's mind-boggling to me still, just that. And I know that's the average, so that's happening everywhere. 7% of school-age kids is a lot of kids to just not be going to school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how do we track them? And it just boggles my mind that there'd be that many kids just not going.
We're fortunate in that we have a really strong group of school social workers who are constantly working with families to eliminate barriers that they might have that prevent them from getting to school on a consistent basis. So there could be any number of reasons why a student isn't getting to school. Usually if it's at the elementary level, it's more family issues or parents have some barriers that they're experiencing. A lot of times at the middle and high school level, individual student barriers or family barriers. So whatever the reason is, we're working with families the best we can to really help them find ways to get their children to school.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kimmer.
And item F, the staffing update, written report has been moved to the workshop, so we'll be covering that a little bit later. We'll move on to other reports. First up is Administrator Compensation Committee.
The Administrative Compensation Committee met on March 17th at 7:30 a.m. The first item that we took up was the administrative guidelines. If you recall, originally the guidelines had kind of a structure or chart that laid out various ranges for things. And I think several months ago, the board voted to remove those in an effort to propose to go to market rate. But then, of course, I think at the January meeting, when we discussed reductions, we made the suggestion that we weren't ready to financially make that commitment yet. So we're kind of left in this awkward position of we don't officially have something, we need to come up with something. And so we had discussions around that. And in large respect, I think the main outcome was that we were going to put together a subcommittee of myself, Dr. Ford, Dr. Davis, and Drew to try to come up with a reasonable table to proceed forward with. So that was the gist of that conversation. The second issue that we talked about was administrative compensations for new hires. In part, that was something that I had brought up, and that was looking at the ranges, for example, that we were hiring a new business manager. We had a range in our administrative compensation committee table of 140 to 180, yet the advertisement that we put out was 160 to 170. And the question that we had was, should that be something that we set some policy on? And several administrators gave reasonings for why we felt we should be aggressive on where we set things. And ultimately, the collective opinion of the committee, though I wasn't one of them, was that we should not get involved and leave it to the administration. So that was the discussion that we had. We do not have a future meeting scheduled, although I can say that Dr. Ford and I and that subcommittee have met, and we started talking about data elements and what we were doing. So we've made progress along that lines. So that is that report.
Thank you very much, and you may continue with Education Committee.
Wonderful. Education Committee met April 1st at 7:30 a.m. We had 3 items that we discussed. The first one, I believe, was kind of mentioned last time, was this concept of academic tracking. The idea of, hey, we put students into a particular class and that may track them throughout the rest of their trajectory. And although we may do that with best of intentions, that may mean that students can't get to ultimately where they may want to get to, and that could create some disproportional effects in special education, multilingual students, or Black or students of 2 races. And we just want to make sure that people understand and that there may be ways to get off of that track and get onto other areas. And so ultimately the discussion was around, hey, what we're going to do is try to get another subcommittee there, which I believe Molly was interested in. I believe Dr. Herzog also expressed interest in it. But I think we were also trying to say, which I don't think came up at the last board meeting, was if anybody else is interested in having those conversations, I think maybe they would be willing to join. Reach out to Molly and Dr. Coleman, and I'm sure you can have those conversations too. So that was the first topic that we discussed. The second topic that we discussed was the final exam schedule. That is, right now at the high school levels for final exams, we take off for 3 days, and in large respect, a large proportion of students take advantage of an offer that we have where if you test exceptionally well on the ACT, you don't have to take the final exam. And so the idea was that maybe instead of having 3 days of final exams, we would go to 2 days of final exams and gain back an additional classroom instructional day. Many questions were asked about, hey, to what extent are the teachers and everybody in the schools on board with this, so the administration is going to go back and have more conversations, and we will bring this back. The third item that we talked about was the literacy and math achievement goals. You guys all suffered through my presentation at the last board meeting. That's everything that we talked about, so we won't do it again. So that is the conversation that we had. The next meeting is scheduled for, well, I don't think we have it scheduled, because we're going to reorganize. So, yes. So that's my report on that. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. Next, Facilities and Finance, Dr. Herzog.
Thank you, Mrs. Wyman. I actually have two reports this evening. I'll start with the Monday, March 12th report at 7:30 a.m. We had a very full agenda, lots of informational items, starting with the Traeger Playground recommendation. Mr. Helmbrecht shared that the Carl Traeger Elementary playground bid information with the committee. The recommendation is to go with Lee Recreation for equipment and Adventure Turf for surfacing, noting that both bids came in under budget, which is always a good thing. Second item was substitute request for proposal recommendation. Mrs. Johnson shared detailed information received from two different staffing firms. The idea is to increase our substitute fill rates, reduce the need for teacher associates, and immediately expand the teaching pool by allowing retirees to sub without the current 75-day waiting period. Mr. Nehan shared information regarding the food service audit with two employees from Chartwell Wells, who is our current provider of food service. The DPI had found a need for improvement with the required accounting for every breakfast meal served. This led to a pilot program at Oakwood Elementary, which will have a breakfast service transitioning back to a more traditional cafeteria breakfast service. There were RFPs for the food service provider contract that came to the committee with the intention to select a partner by April 8th, and we did that. Budget variance was something that Mr. Nehan's reported on with the most current financial information for the 26-27 budget. He also shared details with the new software program the district is using for position management. Mr. Schmidt shared information regarding the planned technology expenditures for 2026-27, noting that vendors are not providing more than 7 days of a price guarantee, which makes it very difficult to purchase. And the longer the process to purchase the necessities, the more variance there is in the cost. And so the committee gave the go-ahead to move forward with purchasing Chromebooks for the grade levels presented, and these are dollars which will come out of the 2020 referendum. Mr. Schmidt also reported on the current phone system. It is no longer under support. And so an RFP, or request for proposal, was posted, resulting in the recommendation of Fort Voice for a total of $369,476.51. This will be a full replacement of the existing phone system, including equipment, and a 5-year support agreement. The district will save approximately $40,000 a year for each of the, from year 5, over a 10-year span. And the meeting was adjourned at 9:10 a.m. on March 12th. The committee, that is the Facilities and Finance Committee, met again on Thursday, April 9th. Mr. Nehan shared that the food service RFP recommendation is for Chartwells, a decision that was approved by the DPI. We also talked about the North Auditorium precast request for proposals. Mr. Nehan's noted that the primary timing issue for the auditorium project is the extremely long lead time for the precast walls, with companies currently requiring about 10 months to work through the production queue. The team needs to issue the RFP and bring back contractor recommendations to ensure that we get into the queue for casting, building, and delivering the walls so that the project can be finished on time for the fall of 2027. Mr. Nehan's also shared an adjustment related to a budget amendment. There was a nearly $1 million reduction in other revenue from the state because the state aid pool, which historically grows by 2 to 4% annually and was built into the district's budgeting models, was frozen during the last biennium. On the expense side, a sizable decrease in business administration was accomplished by proactively moving repairs from Fund 10 to Fund 46. The long-term strategy recommends building the general fund balance up to the auditor's suggested 12 to 15% range, after which any significant surpluses would be transferred to Fund 46 to maximize state aid for the 10-year facility plan. And finally, the reported $1.5 million addition to the restricted fund balance for the health plan was an accounting change directed by the auditor, who recommended using more of the unassigned general fund balance instead of drawing the self-insured health plan reserve account down to zero. And the last agenda item was the new renderings update that Mr. Yerke spoke to earlier this evening. The discussion covered key areas related to the new middle school, with attendees raising critical feedback regarding what was presented. The meeting adjourned at 8:56 a.m. on April 9th. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Smiltney, Policy and Governance.
Policy and Governance, the last Policy and Governance meeting was on March 19th. We actually only considered 3 policies, all necessitated by Act 57 of new Wisconsin law that were related to supervision and reporting to parents of incidents at school or any kind of reports of some misconduct. These were all passed already at the April 8th meeting of the board, so they've all gone into policy now. We do have, just to remind everyone how Policy and Governance is working, we do have, we are able to get through a large number of just the routine policy updates in a short number of meetings, and then we have some bigger topics that where we group more policies together. We do have a number of those coming up that are on future agenda items that will probably be bigger, more public policy discussions that are noted on the minutes. But right now, we've been having pretty short, fast meetings. Nothing new scheduled until after board reorg.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you all for your committee reports. They were great. And now we move on to agenda, public forum, and public comments. I'm sorry, public comments here. Clearly state your name, city you reside in, topic you wish to address. Clearly state then concisely the matters of concern, and limit your time to 3 minutes. We have one speaking tonight, and this is a gender-related public forum, Mallory Schneider-Birschbach.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Tonight, I'm speaking in regards to consent agenda item number 9, wage increase of 2.63% for non-union groups for the 26-27 school year. I am sure many of you already know some of the community is pretty amped up about central office administrators and the superintendent receiving raises given the current district climate. To note, I'm in favor of giving raises to building administrators such as principals and deans of students, along with paraprofessionals and other union and non-union employees. But I think serious consideration and discussion needs to be had before voting on raises for central office administration and the superintendent, especially since the Oshkosh School Summit is next week. Timing, transparency, and community input is essential. I'm asking that you either amend the current resolution so that building administrators, paraprofessionals, and other non-union employees are awarded raises with separate consideration for central office administration and the superintendent. Alternatively, you could table this resolution until after next week's school summit. On a related note, I want the community to understand that district budget issues are not unique to the Oshkosh Area School District. Just a couple weeks ago, Menasha and Appleton School District voters approved operational referenda for their districts. And many other school referenda were voted across the state. If you read tonight's agenda packet, you will notice that part of our budget issues are due to the continued lack of special education funding. Public education funding has been broken for decades. This is the state legislature's constitutional duty, and they are choosing to ignore important matters such as this. I urge board members and the community to contact their state legislators to address this pressing issue. And lastly, I hope after the new board reorganization meeting next week, board members forego any tribalism, partisanship, and inflammatory commentary and focus solely on the real issues we face as a district and community. It's pretty obvious that chaos feeds chaos, and it doesn't help our situation. I sincerely hope this community and board can come together and work towards real solutions in these coming weeks. Through the school summit with board accountability, professionalism, and transparency as part of our discussions. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mallory.
Thank you.
Okay, we have no one for non-agenda related public forum, so we will go to our workshop. And our workshop is the staffing update for 2026, 2027.
Thank you. Okay, so tonight we're going to go through the staffing results. So it's the staffing and budget updates. Just want to make sure we got the correct presentation up. Okay, the title slide looks different, that's why. So that's not.
This is not the one?
No. So.
It's the latest one you gave me in chat?
Yes. That's it. Yes, that's it.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. So tonight, I'd like to go through the results of our staffing process that we do on an annual basis and then provide a budget update. But before I start, I just want to say the second part of this presentation will be related to our budget update. And just want to say that what you'll see tonight in those results is unacceptable. I take responsibility as a superintendent here for what has been a process that we've gone through just related to a poor budgeting and forecasting process, which has resulted in what you'll see tonight. Out of the spirit of transparency, we wanted to be able to present those results so we can begin to move towards solutions. But I want to be clear that what you'll see tonight is not acceptable performance. And again, I take responsibility for that as the superintendent and apologize for that result, for those results. Ultimately, it's up to me to be able to make sure that our budget and forecasting is accurate and moves forward. So I just want to sincerely apologize for that work and also commit immediately to be able to move forward. So I'll provide some of that direction as we get to a little bit later in those slides. So I just wanted to be able to start with that. So I want to start with just our staffing process. Again, our staffing process is an annual process that we go through, and we provided just some guidelines related to our guidance on how our staffing works. So you can see we have some class size recommendations that we follow related to guidelines by grade level. And so our principals, school directors, and assistant superintendents work together to be able to create some course sections and enrollments based on those requests. And then we get together. So that's individual at the building level, and then there are elementary and secondary meetings that are held with the principals, school directors, assistant superintendents, business office, and human resources to determine staff placements. As you can imagine, in our size of district, there's a lot of puzzle pieces to put together. And so our staffing decisions take some time to be able to work through, but are made carefully with the range of factors that you can see on there, including student course requests, budget parameters, FTE allocations, licensure requirements, shared staffing models, our ability to recruit and fill positions, and then also long-term planning needs. So those all go into consideration related to our staffing results. Principals are then provided those staffing results and talk to their staff. We circle back then if there's questions or issues to be able to work through, because again, it's never a perfect process, so always needs some things that need to be adjusted. So our principals, school directors, and assistant superintendents then work together to make sure that those questions are answered and adjustments made as possible. And so we were hopeful to be able to work through, as we had reductions, as we came through this year, to be able to place as many people people as possible. And when we had situations that we had to displace somebody from a department or building, then we used the priorities that you can see up on the screen related to how we determined who stayed and who was displaced in the time that was required. So, and those priorities are new this year. We'll continue to work to fine-tune those priorities as we're moving forward. That's something I've talked to OEA about for some summer work for us to collaborate on as we're moving forward. So again, the results of the staffing process, and this is an annual process that we take. Results this year were a reduction in 22 FTE. So those would be essentially teacher positions. The cost savings of those 22 positions came to just under $2 million. So that is what our process was and what the results were from our spring staffing process, again, which is our annual process after students sign up for classes, and we get enrollment projections as well as we can to be able to establish who will be with us and what positions will be there for next year. So you can see that's by department and across the district. So as we look at, in whole, look at our staffing reductions, because this year was unique when we went through a fall reduction process, as you remember, and voted on back in January. At that point, we had 43.8 staff positions that were reduced. If you add that to the April 22 positions that we just discussed, or that I just indicated, our total staff reductions were 65.8 staff positions overall in our reductions as we're moving forward. And again, we feel like that's an important step for us from a sustainability standpoint. Very difficult work, but did the best we could to be able to get as many people as possible placed as we move through that process, even resulting into some movement even today as we work towards that. So again, this is where I'm transitioning into our budgeting process. And so as we look at our reductions, as we're moving forward, we had $4.6 million in reductions, both staff and not staff, that we had from our reductions back in January. If you add that to the almost $2 million that we had for staffing reductions in this spring timeframe, and then as we've gotten budgets in related to our non-staff budgets, which would be department level budgets, school budgets, those types of things, we also have a reduction of $1.1 million. So overall, from our reduction process as we move forward, we've got $7.7, almost $7.8 million that we have in our reduction process. Again, some really difficult work, but important work for us to be able to move forward with as we go. And again, this is the slide that, again, I want to just pause and say that this is something that I will commit to doing better, working with our team to make sure that as we're moving forward, our budgets are accurate and that our forecasting is accurate, and we just need to do better. We have not done well, and we're committing to do that. But also want to be transparent with what we know at this time. So as we're moving forward, we know that we were originally targeting in the fall a $5.5 million forecasted budget deficit, and that's the number that we were working off through for our reductions. As we would look at our spring deficit right now, as we're putting all of our positions in the books, as we're transitioning over into a new software that syncs up our employee management system along with our budgeting system and running our forecasting, that results in a $10.9 million deficit. So essentially doubling the deficit that we were originally targeting. Again, that's unacceptable. That will not happen again. And I'm committing to making sure that we can take some immediate action to make sure that we can be better in that forecasting process. I just highlighted 4 areas that are what I would call hotspots that we need to get some definition to as we're moving forward. Between OPEB, which is our retirees, essentially retirees, and most of that is retiree health care, along with our current employee health care, special education forecast, and then our forecast for a decrease in grant revenue. So there'll be more details coming out on each one of those as we're moving forward from today. But those are areas that we'll initially look at for our forecasting to find out why that was missed, and also to be able to take a look comprehensively beyond these four, to make sure that we have some confidence that as we're moving forward into next year and beyond next year, that we can have better budgeting and forecasting and be able to hit our marks as we're moving forward. So as we stand today, we would project that our current need for our deficit to continue to close would be about $3 million. And again, that work's going to start immediately with some support as we're moving forward. So one of the things that I've done is to be able to contact a third-party consultant to be able to take a look and review our budgeting process and forecasting process. Todd Gray, who served as a former business manager here at Oshkosh as a consultant with WASB, is working on a schedule for him to be able to come up in May and spend some time with us looking at our past expenses, our audits, our budgeting processes, working with our current business manager and working with our incoming business manager to make sure that we can get to the bottom of what the errors were for our budget and forecasting as we're moving forward. So that work will happen in May. We'll have a revised recommendation, updated recommendation for you as we would get to June 11th. So that time frame will be aggressive to make sure that we can move forward as quickly as possible. And as we would have areas that we need to certainly improve on and be able to potentially reduce for next year, then we would know that. What I will tell you is that classroom teachers will not be part of those reductions. I'll be really very clear about that. We've gone through our staffing process. We've communicated that. It's been a difficult process. And our classroom teachers will not be part of that process. So we'll have more details about other places that may be reductions as we move forward. But wanted to be clear on that. So with that, again, projecting, and this will be after our reorganization, again, wanting to get going on this, that April 30th, we could have a facilities and finance meeting to have our initial discussions about budget reduction. I guess that will have to wait till the reorganization, the chair, to see if that happens. But I want to make sure, again, we have some urgency around this because we need to make sure that we're course correcting immediately as we're moving into a new phase. So with that, I will stop and take questions.
I think we just need to get at it. We've got a plan, and we need to, as you said, Dr. Davis, we need to do better, and we need to figure this out. And we need to move this district continually forward. And I believe that we're putting things in place that will happen.
I guess one thing, for slide number 7, I just want to be clear, I'm not sure what the answer is, of how confident are we right now? We're not confident yet, right, on what the actual projected deficit is, correct?
We have some more.
We need to be honest with that.
Yeah, we have some work to do on that. Those are our best estimates at this point, but that's work that we will continue to do. And again, wanted to be able to get that to the board and the community as quickly as possible so we can start our problem solving and solutions.
Mrs. Smeltlick, I want to thank you for bringing that up, because when I saw slide number 7 over the weekend and saw the item listed as current deficit forecast at 10.9 million, I knew that was a number we had not seen in facilities and finance, and it was not a number that was discussed with this board. So I feel very strongly that we're making the right move in bringing in Mr. Todd Gray, who's been a school business official in at least 2 Wisconsin school districts, both Oshkosh and Appleton, and has served as a successful superintendent in Waukesha, and was brought in as a consultant to help unstick some of the budget issues in the Milwaukee public school system.
Thank you. Dr. Hess?
Yeah, I just want a few clarifications here. I'm not going to. Yeah. One clarification that I had is in the 10.9 million. I have been asked, and I think I know the answer because we have talked about this before, but I think the community should understand that the 10.9 million wouldn't allow us to put 1.5 million into fund balance like we had originally planned in January, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Right, so, I mean, to some extent, already, those numbers are not exactly a clear differentiation from what we were at in January.
Yeah.
Can you, in the slide 6, the spring department budget reduction, you briefly mentioned it, but can you, and I don't know that you're the one or somebody else should potentially do it, can you give us any examples of what that is going to be, or was that literally kind of us saying to departments, you got to cut back and they still have to figure that out? Is that kind of where we're?
That's correct, yeah. And it would be things like supplies, professional development, there's a lot of things that would be underneath that. The specifics of those things are still, would still be worked out. But as we, worked with the people that are responsible for those budgets, that's where those reductions came.
I mean, because the apprehension that I had heard from some people, from some staff that I had talked to was, in the beginning, we cut a whole bunch of, a fair number of people, the 46 people. And the question is, well, if somehow we found 1.1 million, why wasn't that first before that? So that's kind of why I'm trying to understand, but I will leave it at that. I asked, it's reasonable to say we're just telling departments you need to find it, and we don't have it yet. So I think I'm good with limiting myself to just those questions. And I appreciate your commitment to we need to do better. And I trust that Todd Gray can help us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I'll echo that. I have some thoughts I put together, so I might as well share them, right? I mean, obviously, this is unacceptable in the context of where we're at. I mean, we don't have a fund balance to handle this type of volatility. I mean, the response to every shortfall is going to be a structural change at this point. And we're in this environment now where no one can have any confidence in the projections we're making. And we're sitting in a political tinderbox where there's folks waiting to exploit any mistake we make. I mean, I look at what we're supposed to be doing right now, what we rescheduled. Originally tonight, we were going to be talking about our accountability framework in the classroom, improving student outcomes, but we're getting distracted here because of our financial challenges. And we're just never going to get to that point if we keep making mistakes on the foundational side. So I think a few things here that I've already shared with this group and closed before. I would hope that we can maybe do some structural reforms where we turn our facilities and finance committee into just a straight up finance and budget committee, so that we're not spending time, splitting time and having to fuse, but something that's really focused there and a little more powerful. I really like the fact that we're bringing in an outside expert to look at our budgeting and forecasting, because we know we've had clean audits, and that I teach budgeting, and that's good. That shows that we're following our policies and processes after the fact, but that doesn't mean we're forecasting well, and we're clearly not forecasting well, and that's killing us right now. I think we need to lay out the path to fiscal stability from today until the November 28th referendum. A question that came up earlier was how do we restore trust in this district? And I don't think there's any one thing that we can do. When I say trust in this district, I think trust in this body, trust in the administrative team. I think it's a process where we're going to be judged November 2028 when we get to that next operational referendum. Are we able to clean up our finances and actually get our academics on track or not? I think the proof is going to be in the pudding. Yeah, we have to present our budget and finances together, we know this, but I think most off, the board and the admin, we have to be aligned as a team. I think there's too much undermining going on all over the place, and that's fed by some of this uncertainty and poor forecasting. And bottom line is, we can't expect the public, our stakeholders, our employees to take us seriously if we don't behave in a serious manner. So I think we're at a point where we've worn out a lot of people's patience, and I'm really happy that we're bringing in somebody from the outside, and I'm hopeful that we can do better, because we have to. This just isn't working.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else? Mrs. Milton?
I guess I just want to say, there have been a lot of times throughout this process that people who are not financial minds in this community have been made to feel like idiots for pointing out things that were like, that we felt just didn't quite feel right, or noticing things. I'm not blaming any particular person, it's just often how finances work too. But this is a situation where, like, I'm looking at like the four things that were called out as increased or decreased forecasts. They are things that are logical, that any of us doing our own budgeting would be paying attention to. You know, obviously health insurance costs increase. We know that special education is expensive. We know that our grant revenue is volatile. Just like, you know, you learn in personal finance in 11th grade or in teen money, we learn these things. And the fact that we, as our district, cannot trust right now the numbers that we are getting is scary and frustrating. And we all have to obviously commit to do better. And I guess it sounds to me like what the board is saying is we are committed to do this work, and we hope that we can work closely with staff, and obviously some changing staff with this, and to get this under control, because this is impacting students significantly, and it's obviously impacting morale and obviously community confidence in us, and we can't have that.
Mr. Wright.
I want to thank you for your apology and for calling this unacceptable, because it is. And I don't have I have a whole lot of questions that are running through my mind right now that I'm probably not going to ask tonight, but I'm happy we're getting a fresh set of eyes in. And this has to be cleaned up. Those are my thoughts for tonight.
Thank you. Dr. Herzog.
Thank you. I attended the Board of Control meeting on behalf of this board a week ago, and there was some optimism expressed about special education funding. We have no control over that. That's in the hands of the legislature. It was brought up earlier this evening by someone who spoke in the public forum. The state legislature voted to support special education reimbursement funding at the rate of 42%. However, what we've been hearing all year is that number is likely to come in closer to 38 to 39%. If the legislature were to actually pay at the 42% rate, that would bring in hundreds of thousands of dollars into this district. The legislature also voted to support special education reimbursement funding at the rate of 45% in the 26-27 school year. If they were to do that, that would also help with this deficit. We have no control over that. We have no control over what the legislature is going to do. However, each one of us can reach out to our lawmakers and express our support for supporting special education funding at the rate that the legislature promised, so that we can better serve our special needs students and thus serve all of our students, because we won't have to take money out of the Fund 10 account in order to pay for those special education needs.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Great discussion, and you have our commitment as a board and superintendent that we will do better. So thank you very much. Okay, consent resolution agenda. for the consent agenda. The board's been furnished background material on each one. If board member would like to discuss any item, it'll be pulled out of the consent agenda and voted on separately. No board vote is needed at this point to remove resolutions from consent agenda to individually consider.
We better pull out 9.
Yeah, I second that.
Okay,
I'd like to pull out 10.
10. All right. Call the roll. Oh, we need a motion. No, we don't. Call the roll, please.
Ford.
Aye.
Herzog.
Aye.
Hess.
Aye.
Smeltley.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Lyman.
Aye.
DeWitt. Aye. Resolution carries.
Thank you. We'll go back to number 9. Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Ford, DeWitt. Discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd offer an amendment to remove the superintendent position from the wage increase for CPI.
I'll second that.
We have discussion?
Discussion.
Yeah.
Can I ask, this is discussion now, so is this just to remove, not remove as a second, or turn it into a separate item, or you're just proposing?
Just to
it's
remove
gone?
that from the
Okay.
From the mix.
From the mix.
From the mix.
Correct. Correct. I thought it would be based on what we heard tonight, what we've been hearing in the community. It's obviously the causes of our financial issues have nothing to do with any, right? Not one position doesn't fix anything, but I think it's a gesture from the top for all the folks in our district that are dealing with the consequences of our financial challenges.
Any further discussion?
No.
No.
Okay, call the roll.
Herzog.
Aye.
Hess.
Aye.
Smeltley.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Lyman.
Aye.
DeWitt. Aye. Ford.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. So we have to then, okay, we did that, so number 10.
Well, we still have to
we
approve.
got-
We have to
We still have to
approve
approve
for the
the-
rest, yes. Okay,
So.
motion.
I'm.
What's already on the table,
Is it,
right?
we don't have to do another one, we just vote?
Yeah, it's just the amended resolution.
Okay,
So you ready for me to go ahead and just do the rest?
yes.
Hess.
Aye.
Smeltley.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Lyman.
Aye.
DeWitt. Aye. Ford.
Aye.
Herzog.
Aye.
Resolution carries with that amendment.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to number 10. Is there a motion?
Yes, I move to postpone the motion until June 11th after Mr. Gray has completed his audit and review of our our processes relative to budgeting and forecasting.
I'll second that.
I will not support that. I think that these principal salary adjustments are due to those in question, and they work too hard not to get a salary increase like everyone else that works here.
Well, it's
Sorry.
different, yeah. Go ahead, Tim.
Could you say again when you propose to have it come back?
June 11th.
June 11th. I mean, I can support that too. I have a minor reservation that maybe in the way this is framed, we might be creating another issue, and that we did start to talk about, I think, elementary school principals, and that would be in the first cell of that table that I was talking about that we might fill in. And I would hope that maybe we could get some more work done on that. I don't necessarily take issue with it, but if, I agree with having Mr. Gray come in and understand where we are at financially, but I also think maybe at that time we will have some more information there to ensure that we aren't creating a separate issue in how we were proposing to do that. So I will support Dr. Herzog's amendment.
And so just to be, so as we would meet, we could also know, like, if this were to pass, as we're developing ourselves and work through that, like that would be an adjustment we would make on the backside also, right?
Right,
Okay.
right.
I honestly don't even know how I would vote on this right now, but I do, my only kind of position on this is I think we do need to remember that in incredibly difficult budgetary times that are partially self-inflicted, there are still some very good reasons at times that we do need to make some investments in some things, including our staff, to ensure that they are properly compensated. And so that's just, I want everyone to remember that as we go through this, that it's not going to serve any of us well if we are an automatic no to any expenditures, because there are some very important and very important things and very important people in this district that we need to do some work for.
Absolutely. That's why I worded it the way I did, to postpone, because I think we will find the money and feel comfortable awarding these increases when Mr. Gray finishes his work. But right now, I'm not sure that I trust some of the numbers that were shared with us in this report tonight. And so that's where I'm coming from on that. But this is not directed toward the 4 individuals by any means. I've looked at those salary numbers. I know that we have a compression issue with newer people who come in at a higher rate than veteran staff members, so I want them to get those raises, but I also want to feel confident that we're not digging deeper holes in terms of the budget for the 26-27 school year.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
So we need a motion for the amendment?
We had Herzog and DeWitt.
Oh, you had DeWitt, okay.
So
should-
if I'm getting this correctly, the motion is to postpone Resolution 10 until after Todd Gray has a chance to review the financial records, which will come back on June 11th of 2026.
You are good.
Do you want to just say tentatively, just in case?
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea if he finishes his work earlier.
We don't have to
wonderful.
11th meeting, something like that.
I do
I'm the
want-
lawyer here, dude, just put tentatively. You don't want to put a specific date, right? Something might change, or you might have a solution before it.
So can you read the motion one more time, please?
Absolutely. The motion to postpone Resolution 10 until after Todd Gray has an opportunity to review the financial records tentatively by June 11th, 2026.
Okay? Yes.
Right?
Call the roll, please.
Smitlik.
Aye?
Wright.
Aye.
Wyman.
No.
DeWitt.
Aye.
Ford.
No.
Herzog.
Aye.
Hess.
Aye.
Motion carries with a vote of 5-2.
Okay, moving on to number 15, approval of Carl Traeger playground equipment and surfacing project contracts.
So moved, Barb.
I might as well take it. Kelly, second.
Mr. Yerke.
Continuing the conversation from our last meeting, I apologize, I didn't have that information at this time. So talking to Cable Helmbrook, Director of Recreation, he provided the feedback when he took it to his focus group that the recommendation was Lee recommendation in the amount of $574,000. Based on feedback from that group, it was clearly the number one choice of that focus group that included administrators, families, students, developmental groups, along with, let me see, the student representatives and parent representatives from that group. The bid tabulations came back. Gerber also bid on that project. The port in place, we had 3 bids come in on the port in place. Gerber's came in cheaper than Lee Recreation, but they would only do that project if they had both bids. So that is why we stuck with Lee for the playground equipment and the port in place bid. It does come in under bid, so that is the recommendation, covered under Fund 49 in the referendum phase 2.
I think I would say it a little differently, right? It's a large dollar amount, but it's only a $10,000 difference. But the Traeger community overwhelmingly wanted the slightly more expensive one.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rating
Which
scales
makes
were not close.
perfect sense.
Okay. Thank you for the explanation. Call the roll.
Wright?
Aye.
Wyman?
Aye.
DeWitt?
Aye.
Ford?
Aye.
Herzog?
Aye.
Hess?
Aye.
Smithy?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Thank you. Approval of food service contract 2627. Motion?
So moved.
Second, Barb.
Discussion. Mr. Yerke, questions for Mr. Yerke?
I've got a question. Can you explain again the process for, you provided in the report a scoring matrix and evaluation. Who, either an individual or a number of individuals, did that evaluation process?
So Mr. Nehans went through the initial matrix scoring. Then I met with Mr. Nehans. We had 7 people RFP in that process. I asked for the top 4 in the matrix and went through those 4 binders of bid materials. Him and I worked through the matrix, compared notes. I did not complete the matrix. I just looked at the top 4 he had, went through those 4 requests, and I approved of his motion to move Chartwell's forward.
And that is a reasonable process. I just think that maybe at some point we should set a dollar amount where when we do this, I would almost prefer to have 2 people simultaneously evaluate it and then see if there's internal consistency in that evaluation process. I think coming up with a matrix is, I understand that's how we're supposed to do it. I just think we should make sure that we know that we can say something about the internal consistency of the rating process itself. So I will support this. I just...
Yeah, noted.
Yeah.
I think the other piece with that matrix is that's a DPI matrix, so complete it, we submit it to DPI. They have to go through that matrix, make sure it makes sense, they vet it, and then they either approve or deny it.
Okay.
Wyman?
Aye.
DeWitt? Aye. Ford?
Aye.
Herzog?
Aye.
Hess?
Aye.
Smithy?
Aye.
Wright?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Okay. And number 18, commendation of departing board member.
Don't we, number 17, we need to,
Did we do?
I think we have to officially...
yeah, I'd like to make a motion to table that.
Sorry, yeah, crossed it off already. Okay.
I need a second.
Second.
Let Kelly have it.
Oh,
Kelly.
no, I rescind my
Yes,
second.
please.
I rescind it.
Second.
I don't want a second.
Okay, 17. We have a motion, second.
Yeah, and just, I want to table this because after what we just looked at, I don't think we can pass a budget amendment.
Yep. I agree too.
I do not.
Call the roll.
Okay, DeWitt?
Aye.
Ford?
Aye.
Herzog?
Aye.
Hess?
Aye.
Smithy?
Aye.
Wright?
Aye.
Wyman?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, number 18, commendation of departing board member. Be it resolved that Ms. Kelly DeWitt be recognized for her time and contributions to the Oshkosh Area School District as a member of the Board of Education. As a member of the Board of Education, Kelly DeWitt has served Oshkosh students, staff, and taxpayers from 2023 to 2026. She was a member of the Education Committee, a member and vice chair of the Legislative Committee, vice chair of Facilities and Finance Committee, vice chair of the Policy and Governance Committee, and was appointed to the Human Growth and Development Advisory Committee and was part of the NTEA and OEA Meet and Confer liaison teams as an alternate. We thank Kelly for the time she took to serve the students, staff, and community of Oshkosh, and wish her the best in all of her future endeavors, acknowledging her place among those who have stepped forward to serve the district. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution is being forwarded to Ms. Kelly DeWitt with the appreciation, thanks, and best wishes of her colleagues on the Oshkosh Area School District Board of Education, as filed with the Secretary to the Board of Education. Resolved this 22nd day of April 2026, Beth Wyman, OASD Board President.
Thank you.
Beautiful plaque. Dan, nice folder and a copy of the resolution. Thank you for all of your work.
Thank you, Kelly.
Oh, gosh. We have to do it all over again. Is there a motion?
I'll move.
Second, Barb.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I have to vote on it?
We have to discuss if she's allowed to leave, right?
Well, I will tell you, I did, if it's okay, I did write up a little thing
Good.
here.
Yeah.
And so I would like to share this with all of you. So first off, to all of you and my fellow colleagues around this table, thank you. And I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. I know that it hasn't always been easy. We've had disagreements, we've had difficult conversations, and we haven't always seen eye to eye. But I can assure you that each one of you has taught me a valuable lesson in one way, shape, or form. So for that alone, I thank you. This experience and time on this board has given me many opportunities, allowed me to connect with so many people, and I will always be appreciative of that. To my constituents who gave me a chance to represent them and be their voice, thank you. I can say that all I did was try my best to do just that. Although it may not always feel that way, I can assure you that your voice does matter. I urge you to keep or start showing up to meetings, write to your board members, make those phone calls, share your thoughts, and most importantly, show up to the polls. Change doesn't happen with just one person. It starts with all of us. Excuse me. To the families of students in the district, the education of your children is probably one of the most important decisions you will ever make. And it truly isn't clear to me that this district is the best option for that. I know that every single person in this room wants that to be the case, but our test scores and declining enrollment make it difficult to believe that currently. My advice to you is to really get involved, share your thoughts, and not be afraid to show up through the good and the bad. The children of this district deserve that. And to the upcoming board, I challenge you to ask yourself, what does students first actually mean? Is it what the administration says, or is it what the broader community thinks? But even there can be a vast disagreement. I don't have the answers, but my hope is that you all can find it. And I can assure you that the community is watching. I think it is now time to make Oshkosh the destination district I know it can be. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kelly.
Call the roll.
Ford,
Aye.
Herzog,
Aye.
Hess,
Aye.
Smelly,
Aye.
Wright,
Aye.
Wyman,
Aye.
DeWitt.
Aye.
Resolution carried.
Okay. Sorry, I just had this beautiful plaque here, so I, got ahead of myself.
I mean, do you want it back?
Request for future items for committee review. Announcements.
Just a quick announcement on the school summit. So coming up next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So excited. We had, I think at last count, 197 people that were signed up for the summit. So we appreciate everybody who came out or will come out to participate in that. Looking forward to taking those themes as we move forward.
Thank you.
Oh, Emily.
Yeah, and just want to, just a quick announcement, and, we've had a difficult time here in the district over the last 2 to 3 weeks, especially over with our E-Cook family, with the passing of Emily Potratz, our second grader. So just want to continue to keep her family and the E-Cook family just in our hearts and prayers and thoughts. And I know there's a memorial service, I believe, this Saturday afternoon that I know many of us will be attending. So just want to, again, know that we're thinking of them and certainly miss Emily in the process.
Thank you. We will now be adjourning to executive session where we will be discussing employee regarding preliminary notice of non-renewals. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second, Barb.
Yes.
Aye.
Smelly.
Aye.
Ray.
Aye.
Wyman.
Aye.
Hewitt.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Herzog.
Aye.
And resolution carries. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Carried away.